Hello, how you doing? My name is Demetrius Trankus. Um, I'm recording about my research paper. My research paper focuses on um, looking at the B Aerospace performance goals practices or goal setting practices. This is for my administrative leadership theory and practice course for Professor John Rushing. I'm going to go on and move to the second slide of my presentation. It talks a little bit about B Aerospace. B Aerospace is made up of three particular segments or divisions. The first division being the consumables management. That's the division that I work for. It's pretty much a distribution company. It sells aerospace fasteners and consumables. They have over 400,000 part numbers that they offer to the aerospace industry, and they really focus on making it easy, adding value to customers in regards to their fasteners and consumables needs. They set up bin management systems, Kanban, inventory management opportunities where the customer doesn't have to focus on nuts and bolts. They can focus on obviously larger applications in their aircraft, and B really goes in and becomes that value add supplier for their fastener needs and consumables. They also have two other segments, which is the commercial aircraft segment. It manufactures interior systems, and then the final segment is the business jet. Anything that goes inside a jet, B Aerospace makes, whether it's galleys, galley inserts, tables, lighting systems, valves, oxygen delivery systems. They manufacture all of it. Okay, I'm going to go on to my next slide, which discusses the goals that B Aerospace consumables management set forth during the 2012 calendar year, and that's when I was employed at B Aerospace. So four of the objectives or goals that they set out for the entire company was a 95% customer on-time delivery performance, $19 million in PPV savings, so cost reduction, $1 billion in sales, and becoming one BE, right? Setting a culture amongst all sites, whether in Miami or in other locations, really having that culture of being a one BE and working in synergy and collectively. Moving on to slide 4, I discussed the 2012 business goals using the SMART acronym and the WISE acronym. So I also talk about in my research paper that you can't as an organization set SMART goals. You also have to look at WISE goals as well. And when you talk about SMART, the acronym represents goals that are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. And WISE, that acronym represents a goal that it's written, that it's integrated, synergistic, and expansive. And I'll go into more details into a particular example for SMART and WISE. So, when we talk about evaluating the $19 million PPV goal, which is a goal that I selected for my presentation and that I discussed in my research paper. Management did a good job at setting the opportunities or the objectives for it being a SMART goal. It was a specific goal, $19 million savings, but what management lacked was that action plan, breaking it down to the individual contributors and middle management. And as I discussed in my research paper, in 2012, management or the procurement segment of B Aerospace went through a leadership change where now the teams were commodity focused, based on the application of the fasteners and the consumables. And management didn't break down the $19 million goal amongst the teams. They just said, hey guys, go out there, get $19 million. They didn't do a good job of saying, you know what, based on the internally threatened fasteners commodity, they spend 60 million of it, so you guys are responsible for $6 million. Come up with your action plans, come up with what are you going to do to reach that particular goal. So they just always kept it really at a high level and didn't roll out the action plans necessary to be able to achieve that goal. Uh, Measurable goal. Companies, they operate based on decreasing their operational expenses, and PPV is a direct opportunity for them to really increase their profits and minimize their operational margins, right? So it is a definitely a measurable goal. And then when you talk about it being attainable, they did a really good job at looking at their overall spend, breaking it down based on proprietary part numbers that are sold on the aftermarket, part numbers that are contractually already obliged to particular suppliers and have fixed pricing, breaking that down to the spend that is addressable, and then assigning a particular goal to it. So they just didn't shoot a dart on the wall. They really had a good math and a good an analysis in regards to how they were going to set that goal and what that number should be. Obviously, relevancy. All major companies that are in sales and distribution opportunities and offering products, it's the goal is relevant to their successes, and they made it time bound during the 2012 calendar year. Now, when you talk about the goal moving forward into a WISE acronym, they went ahead and they would make a great job of, on a monthly basis, posting a flashcard reminding all the associates that, hey, this is a goal, this is what we're going after. They would track our progress on a monthly basis, and show, hey, this is, where, the goal is 19 million, and right now in January we're at 2 million, and they did it like in a temperature. Very nice job at really writing it out and making it applicable to your day-to-day responsibilities, and keeping that reminder of this is one of the performance goals for the company. In regards to integration, a little bit of a gap there. It was really focused on procurement. It didn't do a good job of looking at other cross-functional teams and departments in regards to how they could really assist us in meeting those goals. I mean, when you talk, for example, supplier quality, inventory management, anytime you lose parts, anytime you misplace parts, anything that goes wrong, once you have the parts in house, we're depending on those part numbers to support the customer. So if you lose parts, then I have to go, maybe have to purchase materials from another distributor at a higher cost, and that in essence impacts the bottom line. So they didn't really do a good job of integrating how that particular goal needs to be rolled out to other departments. And just simply signing a goal of saying, hey, we want to reduce our scrap, we want to reduce how much materials or inventory we lose. That in essence feeds the overall global goal of the $19 million PPV. So a little bit of gap in regards to integrating the goal amongst the entire organization. They just really drove it through procurement, and that's why there were some shortcomings in regards to meeting that particular goal. And then when you talk about synergy, I mean, it's common practice where a lot of times companies are going after goals that conflict with each other, right? They're asking us to reduce pricing, but then they're asking us to reduce inventory and push out orders with suppliers, cancel orders. It really depends on the market and how you're doing on your sales and how much demand you have. But the biggest issue is in synergy is the inventory reduction goals versus the PPV. Sometimes finding that synergy and that balance is difficult for any company. And BE didn't have a stringent or a robust process in doing that. They really had some pitfalls in regards to how to manage inventory and how to roll out strategic initiatives with their supply base on assisting them in those efforts. They were just at the pulse and what was needed, and they didn't have any proactive outlook in regards to those opportunities, and it really impacted the $19 million PPV goal. When you talk about pushing out millions and millions of dollars or canceling millions of dollars with your suppliers, leaves a bad taste in their mouth. They're not going to do a lot for you when you're asking them for cost reduction opportunities, right? And then the last acronym in the WISE goal set is expansive, and it's something that you can continue to build on, right? It's something that you look at your performance at the end of the year, and you see where your pitfalls are, and you can continue to expand inside that goal to next year. So I believe that that particular goal, being that it's smart, is a goal that's always going to stay within the objectives of B Aerospace on a regular performance yearly calendar. Okay, so one of the other discussions I had in regards to my research paper is evaluating employee performance, and again, this is the biggest gap that B Aerospace had, where they set out the goals but didn't do a good job of flowing down that information to middle management and to individual contributors. And in my research paper, I define an effective performance management system doesn't include employee performance appraisals and reviews, right? It's not there just sitting with your manager and talking about how you're doing your performance. It's a need to compose strategic plans, have manager accountability, pay, promote, train, develop, and discipline individual contributors. And again, that's a gap that B Aerospace wasn't able to fill in regards to how they were rolling out their objectives down to the actual individual contributors, middle management, and in essence, resulting in some shortcomings in reaching their goals. Finally, in conclusion, I feel that BE needs to invest in their performance management system. They need to get involved in all levels of the workforce to assist with determining toll gates and objectives that are function specific, right? That really goes down to the function of the individual contributors and holds them accountable in their performance in regards to how they are contributing to the overall goals for the organization. This is the only way that they can successfully impact the overall business goals. This is my presentation. Thank you for listening to me, and I've attached my PowerPoint presentation as well. Thanks.